This is Bommer Canyon Trail on the outskirts of Irvine, Turtle Rock area. It's a 4.5-mile loop, accessible all year, perfect for beginning mountain bike riders, not technical at all, really. It's a bit small for the amount of traffic that's on it, so you can't go balls out. If you're serious, want to do a lot of single track and haul ass, I mean, I guess you could do that, but I would advise against it, if you see a lot of people, because there were more people on this thing than I anticipated, and I went in the middle of the week. Very moderate climbs, a few hairpins. It's fun. I'm not huge on mountain bike riding, and I realize this is the first time I've been on dirt for spokes. I started mountain biking seriously, getting into it in like the mid-2000s, and this bike is a Trek 3900. It's aluminum. It's lightweight. It's nothing serious. It's got suspension on the front fork. It's a really nice bike. It's Shimano everything. It's geared for climbing. It's got a 42, 34, 24 on the front, and then 11 through 32 on the back, 8 speeds. I installed drop bars on it, though, which is kind of funny. About a year and a half ago, I thought, I wanted to turn every one of my bikes, I wanted drop bars on them. This mountain bike, I thought, it's light enough. If I could pack it, I could probably do some touring on it, because it was, it's a fairly light bike. So I put drop bars on it, but when I realized if I was going to go for the full shifters with the, road shifters and the brakes and stuff, I was going to spend probably about as much as I spent on the bike. And I thought, I'm not going to do that. So it looks kind of stupid, but I just put I kept the gears on it, the brake levers and everything. I just kind of installed them in the front. But I really do like the placement because I like riding the bike in the front of the drops, not all the way down. And these are kind of a flared drop, but it handles really well. And this is the first time I've actually had it on an actual mountain bike, style course. And it felt pretty good. And if you think that's stupid, and because I really don't give a shit, I put road slick commuter tires on it one time. And I rode it like a road bike because it's light enough with these road slicks. I mean, that fucking thing was sailing. So, it was perfect for me, but I dislike technical mountain bike riding. And I've done it, and, friends of mine got really into it, and they got me into it for a while. It was fun being out, on these trails and stuff, but what I didn't like was, it's so technical. You've got to watch every move you make. You're constantly staring at the ground. You've got to navigate through ruts and rocks and bunny hop over logs, and I'm falling off every 10 minutes, and, I'm bleeding, and I don't give a shit about that stuff, but, it became a pain in the ass. When I'm on a bike, I want to have fun. I want to travel. The funnest part of these rides was the end, when we'd go down these fire break roads. And these break roads were just really gravelly and bumpy, and they're downhill, and I don't care if they were uphill, I'd climb them, that's no problem. That was the best part, and that's something you can't do on a road bike. If there's a complaint I have about this trail, though, some hikers don't pay attention. Watch these two women as I'm approaching. One sees me, the other one just keeps talking, and you think she'd tell her friend, hey, this guy's coming, but she didn't. So I just kind of split the uprights. But, you've got to be nice. I don't care if you're out there and you're serious. You've got to be nice to people. You've got to share the road just as you do on the highway or, on the streets. Everyone's there to have fun. Horses would be a bigger problem. But October through April, they don't allow horses. They don't allow dogs on this trail ever. It's strictly for hikers, runners, and cyclists. So in the last episode of Spokes, I covered the OC Triathlon, and I think one thing I was trying to get through, I'm not sure if it came through in what I shot, was that, everybody was there. This was an Olympic-sized triathlon. It's like exactly the length of an Olympic triathlon, so it's a true test of what your capabilities are. And what I saw there were people of all shapes and sizes, all age groups, all levels of fitness. You didn't have to be an Olympic athlete to do this. And there were very few people there that were, of that caliber. There were good athletes, and then there were moderate athletes. And I wondered why people do this when they're not at the top of their game. And I think the real reason why they do it is just to show themselves that they can. And I think that's the best part of this, is that, you've got anybody can do this. And they really just kind of dig deep and prove to themselves that, they can do it. This is why you see people, who don't look like runners running a 5K. I think it's great that people are there to challenge themselves. I think it does a lot for your quality of life and your opinion of yourself, your self-confidence. Mark, who's in his 60s, recently started doing triathlons. In fact, I think last year he did 2 or 3. And on our last ride, I'd asked him about it. Why does he do it? And this is what he had to say. So, Mark, you've been competing in triathlons.
Yes.
How many have you done?
I've done 3.
3?
Yeah.
Nice. Now, what got you interested in doing it in the first place? What motivated you to do that?
A couple years ago, I was invited by my neighbors, a couple, to join them and be a part of a team, triathlon team. The wife would do the run. I would be responsible for the bike, and the husband did the swim.
So it was a relay.
So yeah, and it was my first experience. It was really, it opened the door for me, because this is something, a genre that I never thought I'd be involved with. I was happy to ride my bike, every couple times a week, and that was my thing. But having been exposed to it, just it was a real exciting avenue for me to go in.
So far, it just makes you feel better about yourself?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it was exploratory as well. I didn't know if I'd be able to run. A guy my age, I got to worry about injury all the time. So I started running, and it was okay. I thought, hey, maybe I can do this. So the first event I did was a duathlon, which was a beach run, and then a 20K bike, and then a 5K run after that. And I did pretty good in it. So it inspired me to keep going. So then I started swimming. I've been pool swimming at the Y, and that by far has been the hardest of the 3.
So that discipline is the toughest for you?
It is the toughest by far, because you're incorporating so many more muscle groups. It's core, it's shoulders, it's your kick, everything is involved. And I thought, man, I can jump in the water and I'll be fine. Well, it's not that way at all. I mean, it's just it's very difficult. But that being said, the more time you spend, in the pool, training, the easier it gets. And that's what it's all about too, finding the time to do a little bit of each of the disciplines. I've been lucky enough, I'm self-employed, so I'm lucky enough to be able to find time for myself. Not so many people can do, or have the freedom that I do. But it's been great. And my last event was in March of this year. It was the Pasadena Triathlon. And it was a 5K run, a 20K bike, and a 200-meter swim in the pool. And it goes around the Rose Bowl.
Nice.
And it's really a cool venue. And so I entered it, and there were 20 some odd guys in my age category. And I just thought if I got in the top 10, I'd be super happy. Well, I got my first podium. I finished 3rd in the event, and I was like over the top. I after the race, when I found out, I had to grab my wife, and I broke into tears because I was so elated.
See, that's exactly what it's about.
It was mind-boggling. I never thought I could compete at a level, at that level, and do as well as I did. So, and another great stat I took away from it was, out of the field of almost 800 competitors, I was 144th out of almost 800 people in the event.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So
it's like the top, top 20 percentile, 25?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm stoked.
There is a wildlife warning, as there is everywhere around here, for mountain lions and rattlesnakes. Don't worry about it. Like, I don't worry about it. Black Star, on the other side of Irvine, the opposite direction, closer to where I actually live. That has mountain lion warnings everywhere, but it's more prominent. There's higher probability there than there is anywhere I've seen a mountain lion, because people have actually been attacked over there by mountain lions, and but it's rare. I mean, it's not like you're riding through a zoo. You know, it's not something you really have to worry about. But they have to warn you just in case you get attacked or you see one and there wasn't a warning, and then, you know, people are litigious. They're going to try to sue people. They're going to try to sue the county. And I think that's bullshit.
Said I'm hot.